Is my husband overreacting over a mistake that was made? So this happened just hours ago. Me, female, 22, and my partner, male, 24, went on a peaceful walk on the beach with our dog. We brought a long leash for him so he could run a bit more freely. When it was time to put him back on his regular short leash, I didn't realize the clip of the leash didn't click in all the way, and before I could even react, our dog walked away off leash. He didn't run away from us. He just thought we were going back to the car and walked off a bit. But as soon as he heard us yelling, he stopped and came back to me, so I could put him on the leash. I realized I messed up and I should have paid better attention. But my husband is being incredibly nasty with me, saying that he doesn't know if he can ever trust me again with our dog, and that he's wondering if he could ever trust me with our future child. He texted me that he doesn't know if he can be in a relationship with me, and that I should go ruin somebody else's life. I know that I should have paid more attention, and that something could have happened, and I know I fucked up. But I don't think he's being reasonable. So I genuinely don't know if I'm in the wrong or not. That's so over the top that the only explanation I would believe is that he's either been looking for a reason to leave you, and this is his reach, or he's trying to scare you so bad that you never make a mistake again, which is manipulative and not a way you treat a partner. Mistakes are going to happen, and you're both going to make them if this is his reaction to a small, consequence-free mistake. Imagine what his reaction will be to something that is a bit more problematic. That's what scares me about all this. If this is the beginning of an escalation, it could be very bad. He's trying to bully her into submissiveness. He's expecting her to beg and grovel and roll over. So next time he can go even farther. Until it's look at what you made me do. This made me so sad. Shit happens. Instead of having a conversation about, hey, it's great that Fido just came back. We are such good animal owners. Your husband was a complete asshole and treated you like shit. You were fine. Listen, I am 46 with 2 grown kids. What happened had no correlation with raising kids at all. And I have to believe that your husband isn't stupid enough to believe so either, which just means he is malicious and gaslighting you. It's okay. Sometimes leashes don't clasp right. You are okay. It doesn't mean you are a bad person. Does he normally react this way to minute issues? This is an incredibly harmless mistake. Go ruin someone else's life. You missed the leash clip, and your dog walked like 10 feet without it. Dogs do just fine off leash entirely at the beach all the time. If he thinks that this is an indication that you'd be a bad parent, that just tells me that he has no idea what parenting entails. Parents make small mistakes like this all the time. He would too. This is such a massive overreaction to a tiny non-problem that it makes me wonder how he would ever handle a significant conflict. Does he often berate you over small things like this? Some guys act like this when they have a side chick. They do it so they have a reason to leave for the night, week or month. It is a gaslighting technique. Ask me how I know. He obviously cares very much about the dog. Animals can literally be like children to some people, until you've had a kid, and then you realize it's not comparable. But the fact that he is telling you that he is considering throwing away the relationship because of a mistake would literally turn me off so badly, and make me want to be the one to leave him. I'm sorry you're dealing with that. Please don't let him make you feel like shit. This isn't about the leash or the dog. This is him wanting out of the relationship and looking for anything to grasp to make you the bad guy. Or he could be crazy, a total coin flip on this one. Just walk away. If this is how he reacts to an accident where absolutely nothing bad happens, how is he going to react when you actually make a mistake that causes damage? This is an insane reaction and completely unacceptable. I'm sorry, but what? He sounds quite hysterical and immature. There are 2 options for me. He might be ill and should visit a doctor to get his hormones checked, as well as his mental health. Or he is just an and it's time to rethink your marriage. Imagine if you bump his car somewhere. Or, oh my goodness, he sounds quite hysterical and immature. There are 2 options for me. He might be ill and should visit a doctor to get his hormones checked, as well as his mental health. Or he is just an and it's time to rethink your marriage. Imagine if you bump his car somewhere. Or, oh my goodness, she will accidentally kick him during the night. You've got to go, sister. This is abusive behavior after reading your update. Don't raise or even have a child with this person. Talk with some friends and family about this situation, as well as him calling you a BTCH, and get out of there. You deserve better. It's a good thing you found out before you had kids. His behavior is not good. It says everything about him and nothing about you. This can't be the first time he has behaved so badly. Threatening your marriage is a means of controlling you. He expects you to beg forgiveness. Do not ask for forgiveness. He is way out of line. Consider giving him the divorce he is asking for. Hell no, you don't deserve that. What the hell? I messed up a few weeks ago and lost something expensive, and I was super stressed and upset about it. My ADHD messes me up all the time, but usually over little things. This one was big to me. My husband could have rightfully held me to task about it, and I had no intention of replacing it, because I felt I didn't deserve it. 2 days later, a replacement was delivered because it was an accident, and he wanted to make me feel better about it. And he knew it was something I used regularly enough to feel the pain of losing it. Once, when I misunderstood a friend and thought her babysitter would pick up my daughter from school while I was at a conference, my partner had to leave work to pick her up. I felt really bad about that. But it was a stupid mistake caused by extreme fatigue, from trying to fit 5 or more days' work into 4 in order to go to the conference. My kids have both made it to adulthood despite me effing up all sorts of things like that. Mistakes happen. The absolutely fabulous thing is that you learn from them. You didn't know that the clasp didn't always shut clean. Maybe it was the first time it didn't because of an inner spring losing its springiness or something. Now you know, and you'll make sure of it in the future. If your boyfriend has never effed up, tell him to come and see me. I'll give him a medal that says, most perfect jerk. Fun fact. If your partner ever got off his high horse to have a child with you, he would treat your child like this too. My mom was like this. Over-the-top reactions to very small mistakes. I accidentally put a pack of gum in my pocket before my mom paid for it, and she never let it go. I had a tendency to steal for the rest of my life. Her inability to allow for even the tiniest mistake caused years of problems for me, and took me until my 40s to fix. Are you okay with watching him berate your baby? If you stay with him and have kids, you are a monster too, because you will have chosen him. You do not deserve that. People make mistakes, and their partners are supposed to reassure them and make them feel better. The fact that he did not do that and actually made you feel worse means that he is not a good person and does not understand how to be in a relationship. Don't feel bad. Don't apologize. Don't try to explain. Just let him go. He's horrible. He is being unreasonable as these things happen accidentally sometimes, and since everything was under control, he should not have made this a big deal up to this extent, where he told you to ruin someone else's life. It seems that he has some built-up anger towards you, and he has a reason to take that anger out on you, which is in no way a healthy thing in married life. He judged you based on one thing that you did wrong accidentally, and how he cannot trust you with your dog or future child, which is the worst thing anyone can do to their partner. Are you sure that he is not looking for an excuse to leave you? Don't you think that you deserve better treatment? He has a lack of respect for you, and he takes you for granted. So this is not a tolerable thing. It would be better if you asked him to read this post of yours, and the comments that it gets, so he could understand how you feel, and how he will ruin things with you if he has this attitude towards you over small things. So the dog got loose. He panics thinking something bad is going to happen, but the dog doesn't even go anywhere and comes right back to you. Internally, he probably felt embarrassed and ashamed by his reaction, which you probably didn't even notice. He was scared, and now he feels insecure about feeling out of control, and he takes it out on you, to keep you confused, to keep you from looking too closely at him. I'm guessing, of course. But that's how it usually goes with abusers and insecure people. They feel stupid, so they call you stupid. They feel helpless, so they call you helpless. They're afraid you'll break up with them, so they threaten to break up with you. Either way, his reaction is a huge overreaction. I wouldn't be in a relationship with this man. Red flag. He is grossly overreacting. You really need to do yourself a huge favor and tell him he's right, but not in the way he thinks. You can't be in a relationship with someone who overreacts over the simplest of mistakes and would speak to you like that. Ask yourself if you want this man to be your baby's father. Do you want them to live in fear of his shouting and shower of insults over nothing? Do you want their characters crushed because of this man? Unless something really bad was also going on in his life and he was super stressed, There is no excuse. Is he doing drugs? That was one idea I had after reading your post. The total red flag is the continuation of the whole match via text. It's way over the top to say you've spoiled his life. He actually sounds unbalanced. Please think seriously about leaving, and please take the dog with you. I bet he's free and easy with the slaps to the dog. Not normal. It is a massive, unreasonable, unhinged, and irrational overreaction. So I strongly suspect there's a lot more behind it than your dog being off leash for a few seconds. If there isn't, then the man has serious psychological problems, and you should probably get away from him. Either way, this sounds like an abusive relationship, and you should escape from it now. Take the dog. I think he's overreacting over something entirely different. Forget about the dog and the leash and your tiny mistake. If you want to stay with him, you need to find out what this is, and he needs to stop gaslighting you and making you believe that in taking his anger out on you is somehow your fault. Being upset over almost losing his dog is a natural response, but he absolutely overreacted, especially since it was an accident. Has he never made an honest mistake in his life? Seriously, I don't like to jump to the breakup with them stance Reddit seems to always have, but I'm making an exception here. All over a simple, honest mistake. He's saying you're ruining his life, and that he might not be able to trust you with kids, and threatening to break up with you. This is harsh and completely uncalled for. If he doesn't follow through with that threat, then I can only recommend two options. You leave him, or he goes to therapy. Married 30 years next month. Never called each other names or said to shut up, let alone shut us next month. Never called each other names or said to shut up, let alone shut up. Second marriage. Your partner has absolutely no respect for you, and you deserve better. His behavior and reaction are so abusive and appalling that you're right to question them. Have you heard the boiling frog analogy? Abusers usually don't start out being horrible from the beginning. Usually they are extra wonderful, lava-bombing. Then they start to show their true selves a little at a time, until you make concessions, excuses, or changes in your behavior to please them. They blow up, are awful, then apologize and want you to act like nothing happened. This isn't your problem to fix. It's his. He's the one with a problem. I would divorce or leave someone who has no respect for me, and I have done exactly that. But it took me 7 years to see a way out. Don't be me. Cut your losses now. There are thousands of better men out there waiting for you. This isn't the one. Hugs.